Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, we've got a ton of airdrop updates for you, so we're just gonna dive right into it. But just remember, nothing I say here is financial advice, so please do your own research. Just don't blindly follow a guy on YouTube or anyone on YouTube. And if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, we do have the Web3 Secret Society. So if you're interested in joining that and getting the extra coaching, join the 100 or so other people who've chosen this group. The links to that are in the description below. Now, most importantly, and something that has been blowing up all day, whether you were in the Parcel Discord or their Twitter, was the Parcel points. Now, this has been an airdrop that we have been looking forward to for quite a bit of time. Parcel and Camino Finance had a lot of expectations because of previous airdrops like Jupiter, like Jito. Solana was just slapping. But in the last month, Solana has dropped about $70 from its token price. Now it's sitting at 135 or 140 when I'm shooting this video. And as such, the congestion is pretty bad too. And unfortunately, Parcel, its airdrop was not received well. The first thing that happened was they were had a bit of a delay on their claim or their eligibility checker, which is finally up. But now that it's up, people were once again shouting up in arms that they were unhappy with the airdrop. This time, I'm not really against Parcel for what they did. And before you get angry at me, let me explain exactly what's going on. So the first thing is, if you want to right now, you can go to the website. You can check your allocation of Parcel tokens. As you guys know, 2,110 tokens for me off the 3 million points, which I earned predominantly through your support. And because of that, I had that 50% of my airdrop being given away to 5 random winners. We did the drawing last week. These are the 5 wallets that will each be receiving 10% of that airdrop. So, once again, thank you so much for the support. But to understand exactly how these points came into play, the team had put together some rules. And, we've talked about this before. One of the biggest challenges with airdrops is there's no definitive way to do it. Every protocol seems to be doing it their own way. Now, in this case, if you wanted to be eligible for the distribution, you had to earn at least 6,000 points. So 25% of total wallets didn't meet this. This is actually a decent Cybele criteria determinant to remove some, because a lot of people might have chosen to have a few points on a bunch of wallets to see if they could cash in, because sometimes that works, right? The next one is they had 3 different types of users. So you've got to look at this as a segmentation. Now, I have worked in sales management, right? So as you guys know, I'm an executive in a healthcare company. And when you have a sales team and you're doing an incentive plan, it's hard to just have top and bottom end people, right? Imagine, this is for airdrops, right? But imagine individuals where they would get a very little amount of money because they didn't hit their target, or people who would get so much more because they overachieved and everything else like that. So you tend to tweak the top and the bottom ends of the curve because they have to cap out at some point. And because they cap out at some point, on the bottom end, you also have to do a bit of an adjustment. Say, okay, here's what you need to qualify. In this case, what they did was they made it so if the top 5 wallets, which had 1.9 billion points, were manually adjusted. So what that tells me is that they manually adjusted them somewhat down, because what we know is if we compare the top to the bottom, 6,000 to 40,000 points were provided a constant allocation of 20 Parcel tokens. This redistribution came from the top several wallets, and that promoted decentralization. That's a term that people love to throw about. So really, we're taking a bit from the top and putting it at the bottom. And in the middle, you have those like myself. I had 3 million points because of that percentage and everything else. In this case, it was linear. Now, a lot of people are super pumped about their earnings. Most of them are referral earners. So I've seen it on Twitter and they're like, don't FUD my bags, don't FUD my bags. What I will say though is a lot of people just have this unrealistic expectation that they should just be getting a ton, that they should just be getting a ton of tokens no matter what they do. Now, we talked about the cyberness. One thing I will say is, even for myself, even though the majority of my tokens came from referrals, I had put $2,000 in there, or around 2,000 something dollars in there for a couple months. And in that time, if I just held it in ETH, I would have made so much more money. So there was a big opportunity cost because the market moved upwards, and that holding it in USDC was not beneficial. And remember, that only got me like 10 or 20% of the actual airdrop that I earned. So imagine how little I would have got in reality. I probably would have ended up with 200 or 300 tokens off that dollar figure. And that seriously wouldn't be worth it, because what you want to do is you want to go over to Whales Market. Currently, the highest buy order is at 88 cents, and there are some people selling at 89.5 cents. I do expect this to go up only because the amount of parcel token given out isn't that much, but we're going to see how it goes, right? Because claiming is tomorrow. So that's probably the other big thing I want you to take away from this. The claiming goes live at around 1 p.m. UTC or 12:59 UTC tomorrow. So you can think about getting in, selling it out, and doing whatever you've got to do. Now, one thing I do want to mention, because people have bring it up in the chat, Runstones. Some people are asking me now, and it's so funny because I love seeing when people ask you about things that you've been talking about for a long time, when these things were a fraction of the price. So I was talking about Runstones when this was 0.02 Bitcoin, telling people, hey, it's not a bad, or it's a worthwhile investment of sorts. I had two at one point. I only have one now, but literally, like, it was so good because of the memeability. Beeple had got on board and was promoting it. They have an airdrop in their runes coming out on April 20th. And of course, as usual, like clockwork, people don't care when you talk about it when it's like a little amount. But once it 10x's in price or 5x's in price, everyone is like, oh, I should get it now. I should get it now. And for those in the private Discord, they know when this was at almost at 0.1 Bitcoin about a few days ago. And they were like, hey, should we buy it? I'm like, no. It's going to cool down. I've literally been in this since inception, and I know exactly how this trades. Now, for the most part. So it has cooled off significantly. I think when the airdrop happens on April 20th, I think this will cool off even more, because that's exactly what we saw last time. It cooled off from 0.059 Bitcoin all the way down to 0.0287 or 289. I know this because I was literally refreshing this page all the time. Now, so that's all I have to say about Runestone. The next one is on Talis protocol. So if you did stake with the Talis protocol, so if we flash back, let's go back about 4 months. In December, everyone was talking about staking with two validators. You stake with Black Panther and you stake with Talis. Black Panther's airdrop was junk. Well, Talis was here to give us some more of that airdrop. Unfortunately, it was just as disappointing. So all you got to do is go to the Talis website, click on your profile, then click on dashboard. And then by doing that, you will get this airdrop allocation. You type in your wallet address, you could check eligibility, and you can claim. As far as I know, you can't trade this yet, but we'll see how it goes. I think current price, the 250 something tokens I have are only getting at me about $4. But hey, who knows if the price goes up? The next one is EveryWorld. So as you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, which you should, you can see the Brown Gent YT on Twitter. Their phase 1 airdrop takes place tomorrow, April 16th. So they're going to tell us how we can claim that. It will be on Base, because if you're in their Discord, they've already given the contract address. The next one is Drift Protocol. Drift Protocol put out a cryptic tweet. All these crypto tweets love saying stuff, and usually they have to do with airdrops. So they said tomorrow. And if you go down, basically a few days ago, they said it was a great week for Drift. Next week will be even bigger. So very highly speculative that an airdrop is coming. This is not a protocol that I've been using. I used this to get into one of their vaults before. But if you've been doing a bunch of trading or providing liquidity on Drift, this can be another one of those things that can help you claim a significant amount. The next one is and a Cosmos airdrop. I'm going to say Cosmos first because I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I want to stake Atom. Ironically, the snapshot for the SOAR airdrop, which is I'm going to show you in a second, was taken back in January. And there are multiple different ways to be eligible. If you're an Atom staker, if you had 40 Atom at the time, if you're a Celestia staker, if you had 40 Celestia at the time, if you had 20 Milk Tea at the time, 50 Akash. These are all different ways that you could qualify, or Zeely, testnet users, or if you're an OG. You know, the snapshot was taken in Jan 5th, and the funniest comment was this one. First, I staked 15 Atom. The airdrop min was 20. Then I staked 25. The min was 30. Now I staked 30. The min is 40. Like, you literally can't make this stuff up. But if you want to check out the eligibility and all of that, they have a very detailed web page that I would recommend that you take a look at. Thankfully, I did have that much Atom back then during that period of time. Same thing with the amount of Celestia. I don't think I had a Kosh staked, so I probably don't get any there. But hey, what I always tell you when the staking or when the claim page comes up, just try it anyways, because you never know what will qualify. You could also have the Milky Way zone. The next update here is a bit of a sort of another cryptic tweet. So Binance is offering an opportunity, or Web3 with Binance anyways, which has been posted a bunch of times over here. And they got 1.1 million followers. So, you know, definitely something to take in consideration. Claim a share of $80,000 in ZK Sync era ecosystem tokens. What does that tell you? For me, this, and by the way, I hope this is a logo because I love that picture. This tells us that most likely the ZK Sync airdrop is close. This is something we've been farming for so long. And I know a lot of us have been sitting here being like, how long is it going to be? When can I stop farming this thing, right? Because we were farming, or some people were farming Starknet and Layer Zero and ZK Sync. It would be nice to get this one behind us. And the fact that, you know, Binance or an account of Binance with 1.1 million Twitter followers has posted something is significant. Let's not also forget that, actually, you know, before I do that, make sure you go in and check out your ranking on NFT Copilot. I'm currently in the 0.53% of users. I don't really do that much transactions nowadays, but if you want to get that, do your layer 3 airdrop, go do those cubes. There's a ton of ZK Sync activity, and that will also help you out here. Now, you probably remember Gitcoin Passport. They made an announcement sometime, if I go down here, back in March 28th. April is going to be huge. And they say that because they're one of ZK Sync's biggest partners. As we know, in the guild, you can actually see that you need a score of or at least 20 to get on that. So it's fantastic. It's big. And we also know Gitcoin Passport is doing an update on their stamps. So if you scroll here, they're making adjustment to their stamp offerings and waiting next week. They want to better protect the trust and integrity of the communities. So there's a lot of stuff over here. Hopefully that means that they're going to move things off of Ethereum, which, you know, we can publish our passport to Optimism and Linear Build, but I would love to see GTC staking also change course and allow us to do the same thing. So if you haven't already, make sure you go in here and you get your score to at least 20. If you take a look at the Gitcoin Passport recommendation, what they say to their customers is at 20, it's a good elimination of accounts. 30 is the top end of what they recommend. So if you have 30 stamps, you're going to make every single one of the qualification criteria. And at 20 is at the minimum you need to have. So make sure you have 20. There's some easy ways to do it. I have a video on my channel on the best ways to do it and the cheapest ways to do it. One of my favorite is a protocol called Civic. If I can just find it here, all the way down here. I got 6.07 points just from doing this one. You get a bunch of points if you use farming ZK Sync, boom, 0.84, right? You got an ENS domain, 2.22. You got a Discord account, 0.71, right? Google account, 1.03. There are tons of ways to do this. If you got some Ethereum activity, you'll also get this up here. You know, I always check this out when I'm coming. I'm just gonna do this one last time. I love checking this out. Maybe, hopefully, it doesn't take away points. But we'll see. I think this is always something you should be checking out because your Ethereum activity and just getting your stamps up is massive. Do this before it's too late. So you're not sitting here scrambling last minute. Okay, so nothing extra there. The next one is on Jumper. So because we've seen the Omni airdrop, which I felt like they were a bit stingy on that one, a lot of people are trying to get to level 13. Now, what we can see, and we've seen before, so I'm a level 7 or level 6, trying to get to level 7. You can see here how much XP that you got, right? 20, 10, 10 by different categories. Unfortunately, this person, Winter, made an announcement and they posted on Twitter their guide. So this is something I posted on Twitter like 3 days ago, but I didn't make a video. Basically, he did the calculation. So this guy went in the trenches, went in the trenches, did a ton of work, and got us the guide on exactly what we've got to do in order to get the XP up. So if you do 10 chains a month, you get what's called the chain ore, and that gets you 30 XP, right? You get 2 chains, gets you 10 XP, up to 10 chains, 30 XP, right? So I believe maybe 6 chains will get you to what you need. Volume, if you get to 100K volume, you get 40 XP. Then for transactors, the same thing, 50 plus transaction, 50 XP. And swapper, if you do volume of 44K or 44 XP is for 125K. So take a look at these things. You can gamify it and try to get those points up. This is going to be relevant for Jumper Exchange. Obviously, my recommendation as always is don't be just doing this for the sake of doing it and burning money, because then you'll get pissed if you don't get what you want. Try to incorporate this as much as possible and be very cautious on what Jumper recommends, because Jumper is more of a rerouting service and they will recommend things sometimes that may not be in your best interest. One of our members in the private Discord, they were waiting for 3 hours for a transaction that shouldn't have taken that long. So just keep your eyes open there. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to highlight this Twitter user. His name is Barry. I've been following Barry for quite a bit of time. Sometimes creeping, sometimes actually following. And most people, I don't like threads. He has a very good thread on Barachain, and Barachain is one of the few test nets that I still think is okay to do. I don't extremely farm it, but hey, might as well do something if you got some time. And basically here, he's gone through and given some guidance here, which is nice. Like, literally follow this. One thing that was really neat that I did not know about was this around the Crypto Rumble game on Zypher, where you can mint on the Barachain RTO testnet. So basically what you do is you click on the link. It'll take you to this website where you can click this button to mint with Bara token. If you're using the, Rabby, it will automatically connect you to the testnet. But on MetaMask, you have to make sure you switch there, because sometimes these stupid protocols will just use a random gas token, 0.0005, and you don't want it to be ETH by accident. And then once you're done that, you will sit there and you'll have this here. I'm going to hit confirm, and there we go. So I now have that character. The final thing I want to mention, and I brought this up on my video on the weekend, is, guys, one of the things you should be doing always is not just airdrop farming. Airdrop farming is great for adding liquidity, but airdrop farming should just be one of many tools. One of the other tools I think is very important and is very lucrative is investing in meme coins, especially considering how strong some of them are. In the video that I've highlighted, that how to 100x your portfolio, I talk about the strategies on how you can do it in the safest way possible, not sitting there gambling, but truly coming up with a plan. And I also highlight somebody who I think is the best meme coin trader, and somebody that if you're truly interested, go and watch. So first, subscribe to this guy's channel. The guy's incredible. I watch every one of his videos. Like, you guys watch me. I don't shill things. I don't take paid promotions. Nothing like that, right? On this guy, like, I'm not getting paid. I don't get anything out of this. In fact, it hurts me by sharing the fact that this guy's alpha is incredible, because it makes it that much harder to get into those plays at a cheaper price. Of course, I always wait for retests and stuff, but even the knowledge, like, literally, like over here, a video for 2 hours on how to find 100x meme coins without relying on luck, right? Very good. Dan's good. Somebody had on today on his stream, I forget what his name is, but he's really good at charts. Like, guys, you got to watch. And I always tell you, we're not here to gamble. We're here to make money, and just betting on the right things, not messing around. I think you really want to make sure that you're trading with a purpose. And when you trade with a purpose, it's yes, you can have some long-term conviction, right? Like if you're on Brett on Base Network, if you're on Telegram Open Network and you got like Resistance Dog. Oh, and by the way, Nausicaa, that's exactly it. Massive bet BTC Bitcoin. That's the guy with all the great charts, right? So that was 2 hours long. Guys, I'm always watching those videos now because over the last week, I put in, what was it, like 5 figures into Resistance Dog at 24 cents. So I will let you figure out how that turned out for me. Okay. So guys, I'm telling you, like, I'm not a gambler by any means. I just follow thesis. I follow strategy. And I also have very tight entry and exits. So I'm also not here to hold forever like Crash will do. Crash will wait the whole move. I don't do that. I have a small portion that I'll do that. And by the way, in our private group, I go into the nuances of how I've taken Crash's strategy and adapted it to make sure that I can actually continue to print a ton of money. So that's what I'll be focused on. And because of that, guys, it's unfortunate, but I'll be doing a lot less AMAs on YouTube, probably just once a week, if that, just because I want to focus on providing value to the Web3 Secret Society. So that's not to say I won't be doing AMAs, but they won't be as frequent because we'll be doing like live trading sessions, going through, charting stuff out and go, okay, here's where we buy, here's where we take certain X of profits and all of that stuff. So I have the link, by the way, I Are Nobody, in the YouTube description. It's Crash Trading. And by the way, you are most welcome, Nausicaa. So guys, I won't be able to sort of respond to all the comments just because I've got to go. But, for those of you who are wondering, a couple things. Number one, I am not here to just look at every meme coin. That is not the purpose of this. The meme coins, you don't want to just buy a bunch of trash. Focus on the best ones. Stick to that one. You're going to make so much money. You don't need to worry about it. Number two, when it comes to selling tokens, yes or no, it's always hard to know. Like Wormhole sort of cratered. Some of the other ones cratered and went up. It is literally like shooting fish in a barrel. You don't know what you don't know. So guys, like always remember that. Like it's impossibly perfect. All you can do is try to hedge and make good decisions. And that's why you try to take as much risk out of it and you focus on a plan. So guys, with that being said, I would really appreciate it if you haven't already to hit the subscribe button. That stuff would always mean so much. Hit the like button, share this video with someone that you know, because I'm going to keep bringing you alpha. Remember, most people, if they found something this useful, they would not be sharing it. I always want to look out for you guys and make sure you guys have the best resources at your disposal. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.